our second guest this morning. We have Miss Camilla Barker. She's the coordinator over at UB, associated with admissions. Good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you doing today?
We're great. How are you doing?
I'm doing
Thank you so
well.
much for joining us.
Thank you too for having us today.
Well, let's talk UB. We know that we're on to our first semester for the year.
Right.
Talk to us about what admissions is looking like and why should you join UB?
All right, thank you so much. As I've said, good morning to you guys. Good morning, Belize. It's a pleasure to be here. The University of Belize, we operate on 4 strong pillars. You know the role of a national university. It's about teaching, it's about learning, it's about research, it's about service. And so under those different areas, of course, admission comes into play, right? Without admissions, you don't have students in the university. And so as you ask the question, what is that looking like now? That's an interesting question. We're just coming out of the pandemic. Face-to-face learning is just coming back on stream. Students, we have been out on recruitment because we have a 2-phase recruitment process. We go into the schools, we meet with the students, we introduce the university, and we evaluate the interest level, the program students are interested in, and so forth. And that looked very promising when we went in for our first segment, October to December. So the interest is high. It is now time to convert those interests into applications. And so as you ask about what is application looking like, they are coming in.
Okay.
And that is why we are here this morning, because we want to bump it up. We want to boost it, and we want Belize to know that admissions deadlines are up on us. We have various deadlines because people deserve a fair chance. You miss the first one, you catch the second. You miss the second, you catch our final call. So we have about 3 different deadlines working with. And you might ask the question, why 3 different deadlines? You have some persons who want an early response. Why? You want to apply for scholarships. You have your business to do. You want to apply for study leave. So if persons are listening to us now and they're thinking about UB, and you know you have different roles to fulfill, different deadlines to meet, you need to send your leave of absence in early, then apply early. And so we call those persons in. We say, come by the end of January so we can turn around quickly, 15 days. And respond to you. And then you have the students now who report cards are not ready at the end of January. So that deadline will not apply to you. You will catch our February, March deadline. And then we have a final call for those persons who are deliberating and not so sure. So the final call is in May. So there's a window from January up to May. You can put your application in for the August fall semester.
So we're in our first phase of
yes,
the call.
Of the call for students, right. We're in our first phase.
Tertiary education is such a competitive field in terms of trying to get enrolled in any of the various colleges or universities that offer the courses that we'll be interested in as students. What makes UB stand out? Because I'm looking at someone who's coming out of junior college or someone who is coming out of high school, if that were the case. You have options for online courses to be done. You have options of studying abroad, if that were the case.
Yes.
And in Belize, you have 2 universities at this point. You have Galen, you have UB, and I understand that SJC is coming on stream shortly. So now there are options, which makes it all the more competitive a space. What makes UB stand out from the rest?
Right, good, and that's a very good question, because you can say everybody is selling chicken or fried chicken, but what makes your fried chicken stands out? And so now you have to look at quality. You have to look at quality, and service plays an important factor. And so when we get our students into the university, unlike you have different institutions where students come in and thrown in and they're on their own, when you come to the University of Belize, just as though we're sitting one-on-one, you have that person called your academic advisor, who takes care of you from the very first day you come in until you exit, and it goes beyond into graduate studies sometimes, because sometimes we place the students in different institutions abroad. And who does that? their academic advisors, facilitating recommendations, which college to select, which master's program to go into. So we have one-to-one academic advising. In addition to that, students who come into the university are all exposed to research. And so imagine a student coming in from the high school and have that opportunity to do a research methods, to do a critical thinking course, right? To do from the different disciplines. So you come in, you're not just getting an associate and you're moving out, but you're a rounded individual, right? And as a university, we have several different areas to help you to become that holistic being. So you have recreational services, you have student support services, you have your counselor who you can go in and speak to, you have your career counselor. So some students come in, they're in a particular major, and after the first semester they realize this is not for me. They get overwhelmed. Who do they run to? You go to your counselor, you talk to the university counselor, you talk to the career placement officer or career advisor. Persons are going through financial difficulties. Who do they go to? There's an entire department of student services. You can go on a payment plan. We can connect you with different persons in DFC to acquire loans. So we cater to the holistic person, and you're not just, we don't care for you whilst you're in your program. We take care of you before you get in. That's why you have admissions and recruitment. When you get in, and even when you're out, and that makes us stand out. You look at the quality of lecturers. Did you know that UB has the largest number of qualified lecturers in the country as the national university? Right? And so these are some of the things parents have to look on. Who are teaching my children? Right? The level of quality, the service, what is there at the institution to help them, not just to get a paper and move on, but how is my child developing holistically, their social development, psychological developments, because you're an entire being. So we don't just focus on academics. And so there are many services to help the students when they come to us at UB.
I guess the second most important question that anyone would have as a prospective student is the affordability of the courses being offered, and of course your course of studies, if you're doing 2 years, 4 years, or however long. What are we looking at there?
Well, affordability, you can look at it from different perspectives. Some persons can afford to attend school on a full-time basis, where you come and you take your 6, 7, 8 courses for the semester. Some persons are not able to do that, and you can attend only on a part-time basis. And so there is flexibility at UB, right? As a university, you choose to study part-time or full-time. The cost remains the same. You're looking at $44 per credit hour, as opposed to $450 where you'd have to pay if you have to move on, you know, in different institutions. But $44 per credit at the associate level. For one semester, an associate student pays like a minimum of $1,200, and the semester is made up of about 5 months. And so if you can't pay $1,200 up front, then you pay on a plan where you pay 25%. You pay $350 per month. So we try to make it affordable. If you're doing a bachelor's program, that would run you a little bit over $2,000 per semester. And of course, you can go on that payment plan. And there are different scholarship opportunities. You can always write to our scholarship office seeking assistance through scholarship. And the university offers bursaries from time to time. So if a student knows they're in financial need, all they have to do is tap into the resources of the university, because there are ways to assist. And partnering with DFC is a good one too, because they offer different student loan option. I always tell students, don't be afraid to acquire a loan. If you can't pay for it from your pocket on your own, then go to those who can assist.
Because it's an investment in your education.
It is an investment. It is an investment.
Ms. Parker, let's talk the evolution of learning over the past 3 or so years since COVID-19. We have seen institutions adapt to what has been unprecedented times, where students were not able to have in-person classes. We've had to go online.
Right.
Talk to us about what the University of Belize is doing as it relates to online learning?
Right. So COVID has thrown the new norm on us. I mean, we are seeing where our students got into online learning, and now we are at the point where they don't want to let it go.
Yeah.
They want the flexibility, and a number of our students are working class people, and they want that flexibility. And so the university is now at that point of looking into transitioning. And so I won't be able to delve much into where that decision is right now, but of course several of our classes now are being offered online to accommodate that population because of the dynamics. Things have changed, and so if we remain static, then we might all have to go home, right? And so we have to change. We have to change with the times, or else we will caught or be left behind. So that's what we're looking at now, how we can do that.
I also want to touch on the population of students that you have, because I think it is considered that the University of Belize is a university for persons coming right out of high school, right? You can go straight to the university there. But what are the services and the flexibility aside from online learning that you guys offer for persons that are working students as well, that can only do school after 5?
Right.
What does that look like?
And so you can choose to come in, as I said, as a part-time, where you come in to do classes after 5.
Okay.
Or you have the opportunity or ability to select those classes as online learners. So you can select your courses online, or if you prefer to come in face-to-face, you do so after 5 for part-time persons. So if you're working and you want to study, the opportunity is there, whether you want to take it online or you want to come in the traditional face-to-face way.
Do you guys see a lot of students that are working students?
We do have a lot of working students. We have a lot of part-time students.
Okay.
Yes.
Of the many courses that are being offered by the university, what is perhaps the one course that is gravitated to most by people who are applying to study at UB?
The programs, we have over 50 programs, and we have 4 faculties. There is one faculty that is always oversubscribed, and that's the Faculty of Health Sciences. Wow. So a number of persons are gravitating towards the nursing, the social work, and the different health science programs. But also in the Faculty of Management and Social Science, you have the business programs that are also fully subscribed. Tourism is coming back on stream again. A lot of persons are also into education. We need to have more educators or more teachers coming into our programs, right? We need to recruit more of those. And so if there are teachers listening to us this morning, we want them to know that these education programs are up. Those ones are dwindling a little bit, so we know that we need persons to gravitate and to look towards an education major degree. So we know that the health sciences are good and business are doing well as also, and some of our science programs are booming as well, the biology and chemistry majors and so forth. So we have some of our programs that are doing very well, and then we have others that we need to bump up. Our marine biology, we need to see persons coming into natural resource management. We have a program called Bachelor's in Statistics, History, Spanish. We need to have these programs, more persons coming into those areas.
Do you guys offer PhDs?
Not at this time. Not at this time. We were looking in the Masters of Philosophy, but not at this time. No, not PhD, not yet.
But you know what, though? I think a lot of people would be surprised to know that there are teachers that have PhDs that are very much teaching.
Exactly, and that is what I could refer back to my first point where we talk about UB having the most or the highest level of qualified lecturers in the country. A number of our faculty are PhD holders, and so those are some of the things parents have to think about when you're making, and students making a decision. What's the quality of the people who are teaching me, you know?
How do you expand beyond 50 programs?
How do we?
Yeah, because that's quite a lot to choose from, but I'm almost certain it still doesn't cover the entire gamut of courses that persons would want to pursue.
Right.
Like, for argument's sake, I don't know that there is any tertiary level, secondary or tertiary level institution that offers journalism, for instance.
Right.
Perhaps the industry isn't as broad or as big as we'd want it to be. So perhaps there isn't that option at this point for one to pursue those courses locally. But I'm almost certain that people are looking for other courses or programs that they could enroll in. How do you begin to look at, okay, if we're at 50, let's go to 55, for instance?
So you look at market demand, of course, and you also have to speak to industry. You have to talk with your industry to hear what is coming in, what it is that you require. You have to do your feasibility studies. So when you go out to recruitment, that's some of the information you want to gather. What is John interested in? What is Tom interested in? And we are not offering. And so the conversation starts there. What is being demanded? So you have to listen to the people, your prospects, your candidates, and then you have to engage with industry. And so that's where the conversation begins. You execute, you do your research, and so things start to build from there. But of course, 50 plus is a lot. And there are still programs that persons are asking for, as you said, journalism, that they're not there as yet. But for somebody who wants to do, and what we try to do some of the time is use programs that are very close to or almost in alignment with your desired goal. For example, going back to journalism, a person who wants to do that, they are not able to leave Belize. Some of them are 16, 17. We have them starting an associate in English, because English background is the foundation to journalism. And so a number of our students would start in an English program, and then they matriculate into their media and communication studies. So there are gateways to do that. For persons who want to go in like aviation, we don't offer that. But our maths and physics program, because we have an associate in math and physics, and that's a perfect gateway to transition into your aviation program. So there are different ways that we align those students to their end goal, right? People who want to go into medicine, UB is coming on stream with that. We are coming on stream with a medical program. We usually tell persons, once you want to go into medicine, the University of Belize Bio and Chemistry is the only and the best for you at that time, because that matriculates you seamlessly into med school, right? So there are stepping stones too. That's why one of our little mantra, we say, jumpstart your career with us. Because if you don't have the full gamut there, you will find something to springboard from when you're ready to go launch further into your area.
I want to talk accreditation, Ms. Parker, because I remember my junior college years, and the discussion amongst my peers was that you don't go to this school if you're trying to transition into schools overseas. Tell us about the accreditation of the University of Belize as it relates to transitioning to universities overseas, colleges in the U.S. perhaps. What is that looking like?
Thanks. How many years ago you attended junior college? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Almost 10 years
All right, I see. I asked because I realized, yes, it must have been some years ago. Belize has moved past that, and they are now seeing that our credits are transferable locally, internationally, wherever. We have students from all the different continents in the world. There is a level of diversity at UB that's just unimaginable. So we have persons coming from all over, and our students operate in the global village. They are not turned away from any institution, and that's something we boast on as a university. Our students can go anywhere, and we call our credits transportable. So it's transportable, because wherever you go, it goes with you, right? And I'm happy you touch on that, because when you talk about accreditation, accreditation is a stamp of approval. It means that your processes are so excellent, I just need to stamp off on them. Now, if we are not doing a good job, you can't be accredited. And so persons now need to understand that accreditation is a process. You have to be doing this good over a period of years before you can get that stamp of approval. The University of Belize has been doing this good and more And I pray for the day when Belize will catch that vision, that the national university is doing so much in terms of quality, service, research. We are getting into a rich culture of research where every week almost you see lecturers are coming in. This publication, they are in that. And so our faculty members are getting steep into research. And we know what research does for an institution and for a country, right? And so those are the things you want to look at, your processes over the years. So when you submit your documents for that stamp of approval, you get your big grade A. And UB is in the process of doing that right now. We are at the point in which we are working on getting that stamp of approval because our processes are lining up and it will meet the accreditation standard. So gone are the days when persons would say, oh, not UB because they're that's from in the past. And that's why I asked you the question, because that's ancient. Our people are moving out. I'm not. We might be in the same age group. Our people are launching out and they are realizing that UB credits are transportable. So we are in the new era.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be afraid to come to us. Step into our gates with confidence because it will take you places. And before you come, I want to talk about the same thing you touched on in terms of study abroad. Because our students go there, Taiwan, China, they go Europe, North America, and they study and they compete with the students who are there. So it means we're doing a good job.
Yeah.
How could you compete with people from the different continents if we were not getting the foundation here? I want our Belizean to catch that vision because UB is like a gem tucked away and persons have some old misconceptions and they just block it in their mind and they lock it and zip it up, and it doesn't matter what you say, they're set in their ways. But the university is moving, people are being trained and launching out into society, and it's time for them to catch that vision. It's time for them to catch that vision.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing the vision of UB with us. For persons that would like to apply to University of Belize, they are in their first phase. I'm advocating for that. Talk to us about how students or incoming students can get the application just before we wrap up.
Right. So applications are on all our campuses, Belize City, Punta Gorda, and in Belmopan. But from the convenience of your very home, you can access the online application. So if you don't want to do your paper-based, then you just have to hop onto our website, www.ub.edu.bz, and you can access the full works from there.
An application fee, is there
Application fee is $30.
$30. All right. Well, thank you so much, Miss Barker.
Yes.
Is there any parting words? You look like you wanted to say something.
I know, right? Just to close off, that persons who apply on time before the 31st of March get a chance to actually win tuition discounts.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So we just want to advocate and promote that this morning.
Perfect. Everyone will definitely appreciate that. All right. We will be going on to our third and final segment. The St. Catherine's Academy will be visiting us and talking about 140 years of service.
Indeed.
Yes, we will be having that when we come back. Thank you, and all right.